So we'll see how this goes. Okay. Do you want to know how your immune system is doing right now? Will you catch this coronavirus? Do you feel alone in your quest for your truth about health? Do you want to understand more about the body so you can help yourself? Yes, you have questions. We have answers. We don't have all the answers, but we have some pretty good information for you today. So, who am I? Once again, if you're tuning in first time, my name is Adam Bigelsen. I'm a holistic wellness coach. I'm the son of Dr. Harvey Bigelsen, who is the author of this wonderful book, Holographic Blood. If you don't have it, you should get it. You can find it on our website. It's on Amazon.com as well. I'll put our website out there too. So we are here on the Blood Diaries. Dun, 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 dun. We've done a few shows so far. I had a show on with my brother and talked about the basics of who we are and what we do. Then I had a show with Dr. Anna Maria Oliva. We talked a little bit about the terrain theory, and that was a wonderful experience too. So today I've got both of them. We're going to gang up on you. Want to talk a little bit about, can I catch the virus? What are people thinking about and what are we concerned about? As long as we have you as a captive audience, literally, yay, captive audience, we want to educate you. So, couple things also before we do this. From the other show that we had done, I want to thank people that logged in and checked that show out. We had some good comments, which was really nice. Janet Lee, what you do is incredibly complex yet simple if you know what you're doing. So grateful that you do what you do. It was really nice to get a lot of these compliments. People watched the show, which was awesome. So thanks for watching the show. Let's see. Daniela, this is really awesome knowledge. Go, Adam and Anna, go. Yeah, we had some good, awesome knowledge, and we have more awesome knowledge. James, very helpful and instructive. James Dillon was there. Rick Love, a bunch of good comments from Rick Love. Laughter is still the best medicine. All right. So just want to thank people for engaging with us. Now, with all that being said, let's get our guests on today again. Dun, dun, dun. So I think the countdown happens. And actually, you know what? Before we do that, real quick, the terrain theory is what we were talking about last time. And this is a big deal for us, especially talking about the virus experience. So I want to show you this picture. This was a picture that we showed. Josh did a little video just recently. I'm going to solo this picture for you. So we did a post on our Bigelsen Academy Facebook page. Which one of these Spanish farms uses regenerative agriculture and which uses glyphosate? And I can't see the edge of that. Which uses glyphosate? So what you see here is a few different farms, the small farms, the fincas. This one is nice and green, and these ones are all brown. So we're talking about strengthening your terrain. All right, this one, the terrain is strong, so whatever's going on poison-wise here, this is not affecting this farm right here. So this is the same idea with the body. We are terrain. We have our own soil. So if you keep yourself strong, that it doesn't matter what's going on around here. So this is really important as far as what's going on these days. The terrain theory is not the germ theory. The germ theory we talked about, where it's a germ that causes things, and the terrain theory says it's not the germ, it's the environment the germ lives in. So right here you can see health happening in the midst of a poisoned environment. Health happening in the midst of a poisoned environment. Okay, sounds good? Let me get my guests on today. Dun, 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 dun. So let's get Anna, Dr. Anna Maria Oliva coming into the picture. Yay, Anna.
Hello.
Crowd goes wild. Woo. Hey. Here comes Josh. There's Josh in the picture. Cool. All right. So we've ganged up on Anna. Can I stick my finger in your ear? Yay. Weird. Nice. Which way? It's this way. Hi, Anna. How are you?
Let me check this way. Hello, super.
Nice. We're just getting orientated here. All right. Josh, can you hear everybody there?
Can hear you well.
All right, cool. So today, where do we start in the midst of all of this? Terrain theory, blah, blah, blah. Anna and I had a great show. Josh said, I want to be on and do one also. And then Anna and Josh said, okay, Adam, we got to do another one. So here we are. With that being said, ladies first, I guess. Tell us, Anna.
Ladies first, okay, thank
What's
you.
on your mind today?
In my mind, the same that the last day I told you, don't be afraid. I'm a little bit upset. I have to tell you that today and yesterday and these last days, I'm feeling a little bit upset because I think that what is happening is crazy. It makes no sense. And there's so much misinformation that I think it's even risky. So I have 4 lies that I want to share with you if you want today, if you feel a little bit like a warrior as
Four
I feel
lies. She's got
today.
4 lies. She's in warrior mode. Look out for the redhead. Be careful.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm curious.
So I can just tell one lie and then you say what you think about, if you also agree with me that it's a lie or not. The first one is very easy, and we all know that is viruses are not the cause of any disease.
Right.
So this is the first thing that people, that the media, the mass media is telling us all the time. The virus, be afraid of the virus. Don't be afraid of any virus because it's not proven that any virus is the cause of any disease. Do you agree with my lie?
Now, that's interesting. So I'm just putting stuff up on the screen. Virus is not the cause of any disease. What do you think, Josh?
Oh, I totally agree. That goes right along with our germ theory of disease not being correct. So it's reacting to the environment. And Steiner talked about, and I don't know if it's true, but it certainly resonates that the virus is actually just the cells expelling waste and toxicity. So it's the cells reacting to the environment.
Okay.
Yeah, and it matches with the same pleomorphisms that you also talk about, like Bechamp, that they say when the cells are being like coming back to symbionts, they are breaking, and this pleomorphism going back when they are being healed, they release substances, and you can identify that and say, oh, that's a virus, I got it. But what is a virus? A piece of information. That's it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
So now if people are stocking up on antiviral medications, couldn't that potentially be harming people? Or at the very least not helping the situation? But if the virus is just things, toxicity being expelled, if we tried to actually suppress that, is that going to keep more garbage in our system?
Yeah, and we have to remember that viruses are not alive.
Yes, right.
Because we think in viruses, as I said the other day, as if they
Right.
were lions.
They're not
Right.
attacking. Right.
Yep.
You got it. That's
Absolutely.
well, that's important too, as far as the fear is concerned. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so virus is not the cause of any disease. And this is something we can look up. What do you think about information that's out there? All right. I mean, Anna, we have you here, which is great because you're a scientist. Saying virus is not the cause of any disease. If I Google that, what happens? I mean, we get information from two different sides, right?
Let's hear what Dr. Google and Wikipedia has to say, right?
Yeah.
Should I Google that real quick?
I wouldn't waste your time on it. What's lie number 2, Adam? Anna?
The lie number 2 is that since the virus is not something that is alive, you cannot be contagious. How is it said?
Contagious.
Okay, you cannot be contagiado
Infected
the
by it.
virus.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and say that again. So the line number 2 is
that the contagious theory
uh-huh.
is another lie.
Oh,
yeah.
So virus
since it's not a living thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Virus is not a living thing, so it's not going to be waiting there, and you're not going to catch it because you go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
Viruses are inside us. Viruses are also outside us because it's like telegrams. It's the way that bacteria have conversations, and the way that the earth is telling you things. So viruses are everywhere. It's not that you are going to go to the supermarket without gloves, and that is making that you catch it.
Okay.
Right.
So just sorry. So as I put up on the screen, I don't know what you guys can see. Line number 2: viruses are not contagious. So the lie is that viruses are contagious.
Yeah. So viruses are not contagious since they aren't alive. They cannot be transmitted.
Okay.
From host
Gotcha.
to host.
And they are everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
They are everywhere. You cannot avoid because they are even part of you. We were talking about that the other day. Your genome is full of sequences of viruses, so they are inside you. The only thing is that they are activated or not, depending on how are you at this moment, how strong you are. It's about your inner environment, what you call the terrain.
Right. Okay.
So they are there all the time, all of them.
So let me ask you this then, both of you. There's contagious and infectious.
Yeah, infection is when they create an infection.
Okay.
Contagious means that can be transmitted.
Okay.
It's
So,
probably it's mismo. It seems similar. If it's contagious, it's infectious. Now, infected also brings up that we're being invaded by things. The term
right.
infected means we're being attacked almost from outside sources. So that's one of those words, infection, that Dad would call Orwellian misspeak.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. And it's all about the environment. So viruses are
It's
looking for food of sorts. You've got invasive parasites and things like that, but still, if you've got no food for it in the terrain and they can't live there, anything that's an infectious disease. What is an infectious disease? I mean,
well,
what is one?
Theoretically, is a disease that is caused by a microorganism.
Right. But I mean, is there a name for one? What's an infectious disease?
well, I think like smallpox would be one, but I
Okay.
still think you have to go to the environment. So
Right.
it's not an infection of disease. It's your own environment is compromised.
Right.
If you look at malaria, which is killing 3,000 children a day, it's mostly in really poor countries where the water source is really awful.
Sure.
So it's not the actual microorganism itself, it's the terrain that it's actually living in.
Right. And I'm looking at like Mayo Clinic right here .org. Infectious diseases are disorders caused by organisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites.
Well, and if you want to look at their own numbers, the World Health Organization's own numbers say right now an average of 25 to 50,000 people are dying a month from the flu. That's from the
Right.
World Health Organization, which is going to be conservative. So the numbers are probably a lot more than that. So we're worried about this coronavirus going around killing so few people. So as Dad would say, smoke and mirrors. But it all
Right.
starts from within. Even when, let's say, they'll find bacteria in an organ, right? We're creating the bacteria in our own body, so the bacteria is there to help us. But they always find the bacteria at the center of the organ first, never on the outside first. So we're
Okay.
creating it internally is what we're doing. We're not being invaded by these germs.
That's interesting. So let's say that again. So they're always finding the bacteria in the center of the organ first.
It starts internally, and then it goes to the outside. They don't ever find the bacteria externally on the organ. They find it internally first, and then it spreads externally.
Right. Okay. So at this point, we're still nailing that terrain experience into the
All about
ground
the
here.
terrain.
It's all
Absolutely.
about the terrain. Okay. All right. So viruses are not contagious. They're looking for some food. That's it at this point, right? They're living within us symbiotically. Line number 3, Anna. What do you got?
Is about the number of people that are dying.
Okay.
So you know that we are seeing now, I can tell you because I have it here open, are like almost 10,000 people that have died. I have the numbers from Italy.
Uh-huh. All right, listen, people. This is good. Sorry.
Italy is quite close to us. I'm in Spain, so this is quite close. It's 3,500 more or less at this moment. 3,500 people died in Italy at this moment. But when you look in the publications, not in the newspaper, of course,
Right.
okay, not in most of Google searches, but when you go and look deeper, they say that only 2 people have died of something that had no previous disease.
Oh.
I mean, we know that the average age is about 80 something.
Right.
And the average number of diseases is 2.7, if I'm not wrong, 2.5, 2.7 diseases previously before the coronavirus. And only
Okay.
two people from these 3,500, yes, I'm saying,
Yep.
right?
Yes, you got it. Yep.
Are the ones that have died
Right.
without any previous
Okay.
disease.
So,
So what are we saying?
Well,
And we are not taking into account, another thing, that the tests that we are doing are not specific for coronavirus. You can have other diseases and you will get a positive result because it has like 80% of false positives. So
right, yeah. Well, and right now, as the seasons are changing, like here it was 70 degrees and then it was snowing. So, our bodies are going through the seasonal change, which is when we usually get flus and colds anyways, which is the way our body adapts. So right now, if your body is adapting, it does not mean you have the coronavirus, okay? This is just, there are symptoms there that can match whatever's going on. But if you're having a cough, relax. Chicken soup is a good thing. It doesn't mean you're going to die of the coronavirus. But that's interesting. So 2 people did not have any other previous existing condition.
Yeah.
So literally only 2 people have died from this in Italy.
In Italy.
In Italy, yeah. And this is horrible because today I was reading a news that said that a young man has died because of the coronavirus, of course, that's the news. And then you go inside the news because that's the big letters. And then you go inside and you read the small letter and they say that it had leukemia.
Okay.
It's like, oh my God.
He had the Black Plague, but he died of coronavirus.
That's amazing. It's not surprising, unfortunately.
Somebody shot him, but he died of coronavirus. Sorry, I think it's important to bring some lighthearted experience to this because, as we talked about the other day, how much just our health is affected by our emotions. So, and for me, it's interesting. I got to say that when stuff came down, Josh and I are in California now. We just got here from Spain. So we've been living there for the past year, and we're ready to run to Mexico, and we're going to work with a clinic there, and we're super excited. And all of a sudden, the whole world shuts down, and I'm ready. We're ready to go kick some ass and do some stuff. Yay. And now the world shuts down, and, all I can think is, that's it. Now what do we do? And I can feel my energy getting low, and it's like so many people have to be feeling sick in general right now just because of the fear, the environment, the pressure, the stress. There's a lot going on. So
we've talked about it so much, with fight or flight. So, which is the world's in a state of fight or flight right now, which is sympathetic mode, which we know you don't heal in fight or flight. So everybody is on such lockdown right now. It's affecting your circulation. It's affecting your respiration. So now we're creating an internal environment where we're susceptible to external influences. So we don't have an epidemic of a virus. We have an epidemic of fear right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And manipulation, another epidemics of manipulation too.
Well, and that's as you said, the lie, that the number of people that are dying.
Yeah. And even you can check in the CDC, because I was checking it too. Okay, I was checking the statistics that are, you can Google that, the cdc.gov. You have there some pneumonia results.
Right.
There are tables of people, and they say that here it finishes in 2017. People that died because of blah, 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 blah. Well, drug-induced causes. Okay, I'm not going to go to that.
Right, great.
But there were like 56,000 people that died because of pneumonia. Pneumonia plus influenza, because they cannot distinguish both of them.
Yep.
Pure pneumonia from this 56,000, it was 53. And only influenza was 3,000 in a population in the United States that, how big is it?
Yeah,
right.
300 million.
Yeah.
I think most of us are aware of some of the lies. Obviously we're still following Pasteur and the germ theory of disease. And there was an old chemist that they call him the father of modern chemistry, was Lavoisier. And I've got a great quote from a long time ago, that it is therefore not astonishing that in the physical science in general, one often supposed, instead of concluding, that the assumptions transmitted from age to age became more and more imposing by the weight of the authorities that they have acquired. So it's the lie has been propagated years and years and years, that the lie is big enough nobody questions it anymore. Right. When in reality it's a total failure. Béchamp actually tried to do Pasteur's experiments to see if he could prove what Pasteur was doing, and he concluded that he could not recreate what Pasteur said he was doing.
Interesting. Well, and we know with Rockefeller that he died never taking a pharmaceutical in his life, so it's a business, which is fine. The question is,
what do we do about it? I guess.
Right. I was just going to say, as long as we start to learn, how to really take care of ourselves, which is what we want to do. Like it says up in top here, the answers are in the blood. So we look at a drop of blood and we see things that talk about your environment. I don't know. I've got a video I was going to show. that are the symbionts. So I'm going to try to share this on the screen. The videos haven't been great as far as sharing with this Be Live experience. So the symbionts, we talked about pleomorphism. And these little guys are the guys that will morph based on, oh, it's funny, I can hear Anna's voice there. They morph and change based on the terrain. So if your pH and things are out of balance, then these little guys are what will adapt and change. They'll morph into bacteria, fungus, to basically help and assist us.
And Béchamp even talked about how they actually, in instances, create the cells themselves. So these are the very building blocks of who we are. And this is how we create our internal bacteria. The things we're being exposed to, our environmental germs. They did studies on rotten eggs, and they found that the environmental germs could not permeate the actual membrane. So we've got this defense system. So the external germs that we're breathing all day long, if we're healthy, that it cannot actually invade us. It cannot actually break through our membranous walls.
Nice, nice. And the blood I just showed you was nice. Those are nice, solid cells. Like, that's good, healthy. When you think about the picture of the farm that I showed over there, our finca, same idea. If your cells are nice and healthy and we can look at your blood and we see that there, then you're going to be good, more or less. Josh and I, we don't look at our blood all the time. We're doing our best to keep ourselves healthy. So listening to what's going on out there is one thing. We want to be informed, but we're finding out there's a lot of lies. So how do we find out? What's nice is we can still stay connected through the internet. So, Anna's in Spain. She's getting different news than we're getting here. And when we lived in Spain, for those of you watching on Facebook, people would post different things in the US, and we would see a lot of content not available because they're doing different things in different countries. Yeah. So lies, knowing where your source is, same thing. And realizing that there's the moment right now. So right now you can get up and you can go get some joy, and you're going to be a little healthier from that. Okay. If you want to watch the news, I was thinking this earlier. If you want to watch the news, put on some Hawaiian music in the background. Because if you're listening about coronavirus and death and vaccinations and all that kind of stuff, it just doesn't seem quite so serious. And I'm not saying to make all of this a joke by any means, but watch some of the cat videos and relax and just get some joy. Here's a new one I was thinking. What do you guys think of this? And then Anna, you have lie number 4 we want to find out about. I think that as we get more isolated, they used to do the chicken pox parties in the old days that were like vaccinations. So one kid would get the chicken pox, and then the parents would all send the kids over there to hang out with that kid so they could be exposed to the germs. So, the system wasn't in shock when these things happen. So I think right now, as we're being more isolated and we're more afraid, that we should connect. And connecting this way is great, but pick someone that's nearby and invite them over for dinner or something. Like, just gather in small groups.
It's not allowed in Spain, Adam.
And okay, you can't do it in Spain. Right now. Well, while we're still able to do that in other places, get together and share some joy. Share a meal, and just relax. We were playing Scrabble the other night. Play a video game play a game.
I think that's part of the reason we encourage you to do another show so quickly, is so we can connect, because so many people are on lockdown. Our friends in Spain, if you're watching out there, Paul and Daniela and Adonoy and Jana, we miss you guys, and it's too bad we can't all be together right now, but hopefully through the internet we can.
Yeah, there's a few there. Yes, so, and we'll keep doing this. Josh and I are going to do more. Anna will have you on more and more. I got other guests that we want to get on, just so we can stay connected and so we can ideally give you guys some insight and tools. What do we do? Don't believe everything you read. And for me, like doing my Qigong in the morning, it just gives me something to focus on. I get my breathing going. I can feel the energy flowing. I feel good. Put on a song and dance. Do your dishes and dance. Turn up the music just a little bit louder. Try that. Okay. So Anna, tell us now. The audience is waiting. Lie number 4. Dun, dun,
4.
dun.
It's exactly what we were talking about, or you were talking about. That is being confined. The lie is that being confined is the way to stop spreading the virus.
Right.
But that's a
Yeah.
because there is no demonstration of that. And what we need is to take care of weak people. That's what we need, but not being alone at home in an environment that probably you have no sun. Probably you in the States, you live in houses, but here we live in flats, and many flats have no sun, no terrace,
Right.
just some windows. So imagine that you have to be trapped in a family that you are fighting the whole day because you have 3 children, and they are crazy because they need to move and they need to,
Right.
especially young people. And all of us need, the worst thing you can do for your health is being quiet. I always say that the first enemy of your health is not cholesterol, it's not the virus, it's the chair. So
It's the stagnation. Is absolutely
exactly.
right.
And the And what can make that the virus, if it exists, if you still think and believe that it exists and it causes any disease, if you still believe that up to you, the thing that can inactivate and control the virus is the sun. So go outside and be under the sun, because this is the healthiest thing we can do. So what are we doing here? That's very interesting, because today I've read in the news that I'm not allowed to go with my children to the supermarket. I'm not allowed to drive with my children in the same car. In fact, I'm not allowed to I can just go outside when it's something really, really important.
Yeah.
Once a day, once a week, to buy some food and some stuff. And at the same time, now they allow groups of 4 people go hunting.
Go what? Hunting.
Yeah. Hunting the rabbits and this. Today I read that, at least in one of the autonomies, here, the small communities, the las comunidades autónomas, it is allowed to go hunting rabbits and whatever they hunt. I don't know. So that's quite interesting.
Yes,
So-
I think we're lucky that the virus isn't the problem, because what they're doing is you're creating an environment now which is controlled by fear, and we're stagnating in our little houses. So we're living in fear and we're stagnating. So if we were sick, this is going to probably make things a little worse for you. I always say you don't heal sitting in a chair.
Right.
I tried. It didn't work. Right?
Yeah,
So
he tried.
we need some movement. So for people stuck in the house, walk around a little bit, tap your feet while you're sitting, get the lymphatics moving, move as much as possible. It's really,
You got
really
kids,
important.
or even if you don't have kids, put on the hokey pokey. Do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around. Honestly, do the Macarena. Who cares? Dance like no one's watching. And the more ridiculous and horribly you dance, the funnier you're going to laugh at yourself anyway. So, yeah, that's important. It's at this point in time to get some joy. I said this the other day too. This is one of the things I get joy out of, is connecting. The conversations I've had with Josh and with Anna, and all I can think is, damn it, I wish we had a camera, or we should be live. Doing this, so yay. It's funny, I see Mom texting, how would a consult from you on my blood help me with my health? Good question, Mom. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But no, I think all this stuff is important. It's the connections that are important. The thing is, we're all going to get sick at different times, and like Josh said, it's the separation that is going on that is making things even more weird. And we talk about emotions are such a big deal in the blood. You isolate yourself, emotionally and physically, and all of a sudden, this is an interesting thing. It can do some pretty weird things to people. So connect. Yeah.
The fear. And know what is the worst thing, at least here, what I'm seeing, is that until now, you could have some enemies. And you can consider the bacteria your enemies, or you can consider that another country is your enemy, but now your enemy is your neighbor. Because you're at risk. Or your enemy because you can be just a carrier.
Right. Right.
So that means that anyone surrounding you can be your enemy. And this psychologically is horrible.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we
It's
have
sad.
the fear. Yes, it's super sad. It's super sad. We have the fear, the isolation, and this feeling of everybody is your enemy, and that you are in danger all the time. And one of the things that it makes me really do reflections about all this situation is that many people think that they are healthy.
Yeah, right.
And they are not.
Sure.
And that's it, because the way that we check the health is just some, let's say, external numbers about your blood test, the normal blood test that tells you cholesterol levels or vitamin levels or things like that, or number of red blood cells. And according to these numbers, that there is just statistics, They say, no, you're healthy because you don't have any number that goes out of that. But nobody's checking what is really happening inside. And that's a problem, that people think they are healthy. And then suddenly they feel bad and suddenly they die. Oh, he was totally healthy and suddenly he died.
Yeah.
No. Well, you can have a heart attack
Right.
and die, of course, and you can have a car crash and die. But most
Sure.
of the diseases are not from night to morning,
Right.
that you were so healthy and suddenly
Yeah.
you're close to die. So
Yeah.
we really need you guys to continue doing this job of checking how are you, so as we can really see how we are, because because I go and do a blood test, and the blood test, I remember I was sick a few months ago. I was super stressed and feeling really, really bad.
Uh-huh.
And I did my blood test and went to the doctor and say, no, you are fine. Your blood test
Yeah.
says you are fine.
That's
And
not a
there
blood
is-
test with us, by the way. That's a
No. It was a
Okay.
classical blood test with the numbers, with statistics, and then and sonogram and echography, and then everything is okay. You have nothing. Oh, yeah, but I feel really bad.
right.
That is
Yeah.
because they don't have other tools to check how are you,
Right.
as you have.
They really can't give you that visual that we have, that we can visually see into what's going on internally. And the other side of that, we had so many clients over the years that would come in who thought they were really unhealthy, and the blood looked pretty good.
Yeah.
You
That
know?
happens more often than you would think.
Yeah, so the fear, over time, if they keep worrying about that, then their health will start to deteriorate from there.
Right.
But yeah, some people are not as healthy as they think, and vice versa. So many people came in, thought they were sick, and we look at the blood and say it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the next week they would come in and say the same thing. I think I'm unhealthy. It's like, well, the blood looks pretty good. But if you keep saying that and you keep believing that, you're going to create an unhealthy environment. And it's going to be interesting to see maybe 6 months down the line after this fear epidemic is over. We know from Eastern philosophy that each organ has a different emotion with it. Well, the kidneys are our organ of fear.
Right.
So a few months down the line, let's see what starts to pop up with people's kidneys now that people are living in so much fear right now.
Yeah, kidneys and adrenals, we can check it.
Yep, and now the key with that is to not to go to your doctor or your naturopath to give you adrenal support. The
Right.
trick is to
Right.
align the body, take pressure off the kidneys and adrenals so they can do their job.
Right. Right.
And also get rid of the fear that is
Absolutely,
causing.
absolutely. You don't fix that with supplements or pharmaceuticals.
Right.
No.
Well, and as people are trying to do, what they do, for people listening and watching, what Josh and I do with our father's holographic blood work, there's no one else in the world that does what we do the way we do it. So if you haven't been to see us, you haven't had this done. People get sucked down the rabbit hole pretty quickly. There's so many food sensitivities and allergies, and so whatever you've got going on, people, and wherever you think you're at right now because of what someone told you, does it resonate with you or not? We've got the guy that grew up on the farm, and he was told that after some muscle testing, he has allergies to eggs, and the guy's been eating eggs his whole life. He feels fine. I had an allergy at one point to carrots, and my throat would get scratchy, and there was a reaction. So what do you think, Josh, just about that real quick as far as food sensitivities, allergies, environment, terrain?
Right. I mean, if the body's not working properly, our digestion probably is not going to be working properly. So now we're going to be sensitive to certain types of foods. But if we look at the foods we're actually going to be sensitive to, it's the overprocessed foods. Okay. People are worried about the glutens and things like that. It's not the gluten, it's the processing. All right. And so many foods are GMO'd these days, the wheats, the soys. No, but the body doesn't recognize what they are because they're not normal wheat and soy anymore. So that it's not that the body is allergic to it. It does not know how to process the actual food itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if we look at the homotoxicology chart, allergies are just a chronic they're a chronic fungal reaction. So basically our mucous membranes have been irritated for so long that now we're starting to be susceptible to some external influences. So we strengthen our core from the inside and the allergies just go away. But don't let a test tell you that you're allergic to anything.
Right. And people, yourself better than anyone, but we also lie to ourselves all the time, say we're fine, At this point, as Josh and I were about to go to Mexico, have some tacos, do some blood, and surf a little bit, we're all confined. So we, though, still have access to mail, and we are doing distance consultations. If you happen to be near our area and can still get out of the house, then we are still doing some consultations now. So if you'd like to see what's going on in your blood and have us take a look, I personally think there is no better way to get an insight into your inner terrain experience to see what's balanced and what's out of balance.
Yeah. At this point, we can accept samples from Spain and from the United States. So Spain will get sent to a location in Spain. The United States will get sent to a location in the United States, obviously. If you're worried about your own internal environment, if you've had some old chronic issues, nobody knows what's wrong with you, that's what the blood is for. It's usually much more simple than people think.
So, and we're going to wrap up in a moment here because we don't want people's heads to explode with all this information. Explotar. Let's see here. So, yeah, real quick, as I'm just looking and seeing what people are saying. Let's see here. Janet's there. Hello, Janet. Daniela is there hanging out with us also. Cindy says we're amazing. We know that. Thanks for telling us. We appreciate that. Jorgelina, yeah. Craig Vaughn joined the party. Hey, Corey Bond, yeah, excellent. Cousin Rebecca is here, yay. Hey, everybody, good to see you. Glad you're joining in and letting us share some information with you. Once again, we've got my brother Josh here, yay. Holistic wellness coach, as well as the same with me, holistic wellness coach, Dr. Ana Maria Oliva, PhD in biomedicine and master's in biomedical engineering. Correct? Did I get that right? Yes.
Right.
Practicing that.
Yes.
So to wrap things up, Ana, you are awesome. You are on our team now as far as our resident scientist. Yay. So I'm putting your website up so people can see all of that. Is there something you want to tell us briefly about yourself? I want people to check out your website, which if they do it in Google Chrome will translate.
Yes.
And then also remind us of the 4 lies you brought to the table today.
Well, what I want to tell you is that my expertise is mostly about electricity. And another thing that we are not talking about is that today I have done a video. I have posted a video about this, how the epidemics are always linked to the development or the implementation of a new technology. This is
Interesting.
linked to the 5G technology. And there is a sequence that always matches. They start with the telegraph and they started with the anxiety. They start with this technology and then 6 months later, it began a new epidemics of things that they didn't.
So historically, there's been a pattern. Technology changes, epidemic happens.
And I'm sure we could do a whole show just on the 5G. And it's interesting, real quick, that when we look at your blood, we'll actually see this activity, which is the symbionts, the microzymas, and you can view that as your own electromagnetic frequency. So certain people are more susceptible to outside frequencies. Those people always tend to have a snowstorm in their blood. So their own electromagnetic frequency is on overload, so it does not take much to set them off. So as we calm down their body and get it to not to work so hard, their own frequency calms down, and then they're less susceptible to what we're being bombarded with out there.
You got it. You got it.
Yes. So remember that we are continuously adapting to everything that is happening outside. And inside is not only outside, but also inside. Is the weather, is the radiation, is the food you eat, is your emotions, is your thought. Right. So the cleaner you can be, the easier will be for your body to adapt and to be regulated. That the more stressors we put outside, the more difficult it is for you to get adapted. So of course, your immune system, that is one of the main regulators, is going to fail. Right. But it's not because it's an army, it's because it's failing in regulating you. So that's, right. For me, it makes totally sense.
Yeah, we should do a test for people watching and listening. There's going to be a test. Did you learn this was important? Okay.
They can rewatch the show to learn more.
That's true. And it's, you know what, at the same time too, as this is a new experience for us, please share the show. Can you hit like? Yay. I feel like an 18-year-old YouTuber. Please hit like. I want to see more likes. But share the show.
But also send in questions, send in questions and let us know, what you'd like to know about. Dad taught Adam and I to be honest about what we know, but also honest about what we don't know.
Yeah.
So you always get a really straight answer from us.
Well, and what we're going to do too, I want to still go back to Anna's 4 lies before we're done today. You can get to us at bigelsenmethod.com. We're going to do another show. We're scheduled to do a lecture in Los Angeles this weekend, but I don't think we should probably be traveling because we might get stuck somewhere.
We might get
So-
the virus.
We've already got it. I've got it. So we're going to do an online lecture, basically, and then I think what we're going to do is Q&A for a little while. Okay? So we'll keep you posted. As long as we got a captive audience, we might as well hang out together for a little bit, right? This is fun. Yay! It's like party line. We should put on the music and dance.
And by the way, yesterday we were singing with you, Adam, with my children.
Singing.
We were singing that video that you have about the vocal toning.
Oh, nice. Hey, cool.
Yes,
Cool.
we were practicing that with my children. We are following more or less the school schedule, So it was music class, and they say, okay, let's play the piano for a while, and then
Nice.
let's sing. So we were singing with you. So
Cool.
I encourage people also to sing with you this vocal toning, because
Cool.
it's a way to move your energy, to breathe deeper.
I support that. And I guess if you want a ukulele lesson, if you have a ukulele, first lesson's free. Guitar lessons available also. But the vocal toning exercise is great. My chakra vocal toning video, it's on our Facebook page, Bigelsen Academy. Cool. Things I do in the morning to keep myself sane as much as possible in the midst of the apocalypse. The apocalypse, it's the toilet paper apocalypse.
The same problem in the States?
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, I did not believe it.
Toilet paper apocalypse. Yep.
That's what they say. One person sneezes and 1,000 people crap themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so Anna, tell us once again our 4 lies. Lie number 1 was
Lie number 1 is that the virus cause any disease, because they don't.
viruses do not cause disease. Okay. Lie number 2.
Lie number 2 is about that you can never be contagious. I have problems with that word.
It's not contagious.
Yes.
Viruses are not contagious.
Lie number
Exactly.
2. Excellent.
But this is not the lie, that's the truth. That's the
Right.
truth.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Number 3,
3.
numbers about dead people.
The numbers about the dead people. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Not correct numbers.
The
Okay.
tests are giving a lot of false positives, and almost everybody had the previous disease. They are not dying because of the virus. They are dying because of the diseases
Right.
that they had, normally pneumonia.
Yeah, you got it. So it's time just in general for people to be conscious of their health. Or take charge of your health care, damn it.
Yes.
Well, good
Don't
luck.
go to the doctor to fix you. That's what Dad would say. I don't fix anybody. So
Take the
yay.
responsibility of being aware of how are you and what
Yep.
can you do to be better and to avoid any of these diseases.
Yeah, and they did a study on the people that lived to be over 100 years old, the Centaurians, I think they called them. And one of the things they had in common was they did not go to their doctor for regular checkups. Okay, because they're going to find something wrong with you. But that's not coming to see us or having us do a drop of your blood. That's different.
Yeah, the other day I read in the news also a woman that was 102 years old and was cured from the coronavirus.
Nice. Cool. How was she cured, I wonder?
Probably by staying away from doctors.
Yeah, right. Probably by staying away from doctors. Nice. Okay, so line number 4 was...
Being confined is not the best solution for us.
Right.
The best solution is that keep on moving and being under the sun and do some exercise and eat healthy and have healthy relationships and laugh with your friends and hug them.
You got it.
Unless you are old and you have pneumonia, so then take care.
There you go. Right. As simple as that. It's simple as that. It's not about not touching people. And the kids, when they started doing that antibacterial soap, I was a teacher in elementary school, and kids would get sicker for longer periods of time whenever they would get sick because their bodies weren't used to the bacteria.
Yeah.
So it's like using that soap actually didn't help. It made things worse in the long run.
And it actually weakened the immune system at that point in time.
Right. So as far as vaccinations, it's like being in contact with people is important for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you want to be vaccinated from it, go out and have somebody with the virus sneeze on you.
Yeah. You know what's funny? And it's funny because it's like I would do that. You got the virus, you can sneeze on me. I'm not concerned. I think that'd be fine.
So it's important. Yeah, we take care of ourselves at this point in time. And in the United States, a lot of us can still leave the house. So for those of you in the U.S., don't stop going to see your acupuncturist. Don't stop going to see your body worker. Those are doctors that'll give you maintenance. Basically, they'll make sure the meridians are flowing, the energy is flowing. They'll align the car so that it works properly.
Yep.
Get some movement. If you're in Spain, start dancing in the house a little bit more.
I have to put the educational purposes only on the screen too, just because.
Get as much movement as possible, and if you're worried about what's really going on, then we're happy to do a consultation for you.
Yep, you got it. Okay, Anna, anything else to add in our final moments?
One thing that I want to say is that sometimes, when I talk to you, we laugh a lot and then we have fun. And I don't want people to think that we are not respecting those that are suffering.
No, not at all.
So I'm very sensitive to that. So I know that there are many people that are suffering. I know that many doctors are doing what they can do, what they really think they have to do, and they are suffering a lot. They are super stressed.
Yep.
Right.
And I don't want that people think that we are just making fun of all this stuff.
Right.
Just because we are laughing. It's because I feel good talking to you. So and I respect anyone that is suffering, and I hope that they don't suffer so much, and especially those that have died and those families. That's not a joke. This is not a joke. I just want to transmit something that is not fear. And since we are surrounded of panic and fear and stress and numbers that are telling you that we are going to all die, because it's like a movie, all these Hollywood movies that we've seen.
Yeah. I love those movies.
This is like, these movies about the contagion, or I don't remember the name of this movie, that is like a super virus, little virus that is going to kill all us. It seems that we are inside this movie at this moment. So I don't want people to think that we don't care about people that suffer. We really care. And what we want is that you are so healthy that you don't have to be worried about catching any virus. First of all, because it's not possible. But second, because you are so healthy that this is not going to happen. So what I encourage people is to really do active things that they can make them feel better. It's interesting because here we are confined. In France, at least they can go running.
Right. Right.
They are allowed to go and run and play in the playgrounds, for example. It is allowed.
Sure.
And I received the other day an information from India with the suggestions, and the suggestions that they do to deal with the coronavirus is doing the sun salutation, is taking some food, because it's always food. Your food is your medicine,
Right.
So
Sure.
some extra food of things or teas that can help you to increase your immune system, and that's it. So there are many ways of seeing reality. My purpose is always just showing you, which is my personal point of view about health. But please don't think that we are laughing or we are not taking into account other people's suffering, because this is exactly what moves me. Is suffering of the others. What makes that I do things and that I create videos and that I'm with you is specifically seeing so many people that are suffering because of something that could be avoided.
Right.
Yeah, and as I've been doing this, I don't know, 15, 20 plus years now, it's been more and more important for me personally to add levity to the situation, to make it more lighthearted, but back it up with my experiences. So Adam and I were here to educate based on experiences that we've had over the last bunch of years being involved in the health industry. But it's really important to have levity and enjoy and laugh. Not laugh at people, but laugh with people.
Right. Yeah. And at this point too, have a friend over, one friend if you can get out of the house, and cook some food together. Enjoy it. Yeah. And realize that what we've talked about today is science. Don't you feel better now? Cool. Okay. Josh, awesome. I appreciate you adding your insight and input. Yay, Josh. Woo!
Anytime.
Anna, you are most definitely awesome. Appreciate you being around and part of our team. Can't imagine where we'd be without you at this point. So, last thing being said, I guess you can check out our website if you want, like I said. Find out more. You can get our email address there, and the emails go right to Josh if you're interested in consultations. We'll pop on, and if there was some questions in the comments, we'll check some of those out because they're not appearing. Excuse me, dry throat. They're not appearing right on the side of my page here.
He coughed.
I got attacked by the virus. It attacked me.
The revenge of the virus.
Yes. You want to find out more about Anna, go check out her website. And aside from that, share the show, please. Check out our YouTube channels. Check out Anna's stuff. You can always click on that little subtitle thing because a lot of her stuff is in Spanish. And I think that's about the size of it. You guys are awesome. Enjoy your day as much as you can. Post some awesome comments about how you're getting through the toilet paper apocalypse. And yay, share some food, share some toilet paper, share some joy. We'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.